Oh, hey, we're here. Perfect. Allow me to go adjust the sound of the air conditioner. We'll cut that down to low power. Ooh, a little out of focus. Right here at the face level, maybe. Nope, doesn't seem like it wants to focus today. Sure is focusing back there, though, isn't it? All right, well, regardless, we got what we got. So today, we did something different. I did not set up an event, but it is Wednesday at 8:05, so we will see if anybody shows up. If not, well, that's fine too. I click on the channel, just right on the screen. Oh, perfect. Didn't even know we could do that. So what if I do this? So tonight's live chat brought to you by Firstwave Holsters. The website is live website, firstwaveholsters.com. Alive and kicking. I was supposed to be ready for last week's live chat and wasn't. It took until yesterday to actually to show up and like be on. All kinds of stuff. But the folks at Big Commerce were awesome. Man, it just doesn't want to focus on me today. Let's see if we can get that thing to. Sometimes when you get close to it, it'll. Maybe if we get further away. Oh, look, now I'm in focus. Maybe if I come back some. Oh, there we go. In focus. All right. So I'm going to drag that over to this window and put the chat in that window. We'll see if that works because, well, you know how that goes. We'll enable that. Javier, good to see you here. You're like the only guy. A couple more have popped in, I guess. Adam Hall, hello, sir. So, technical mumba jahumba all taken care of. Well, I need a fucking haircut. No class this weekend, so maybe it'll wait till next week. Don't have to look professional. I know everyone's like, wait, professional? But so, what do we got going on? Well, got no questions because I didn't post an event and only a few announcements. We'll do a quick recap of last week. It was pretty cool. Saturday morning, me and TJ, the real wood wizard, the guy that was on the live chat here a month ago or so, my buddy Tony, Kentucky Windage over on the Instagrams and whatnot, and Mr. Bulletin himself, Mike Fiore, all went to a USPSA match and shot. We shoot 4 stages. It was cool. We enjoyed ourselves and joked around and had fun. I think TJ like had some scores, but I didn't go look at them, so I don't know what any of that is because it didn't matter. Uncle Guns, hello, sir. Very first stage, we started with like the gun on a table, and some dork was like, "Does that gun got a comp on it?" Yeah. It probably says open class. Okay, it does. Would have thought I was the only open class shooter with a comp and no red dot, but Mike also had a comp and no red dot on his macro. I think I have a 48 sitting up there that also is got a comp and no red dot on it. But whatever. I was like, I just brought the gun that I carry all the time, and you can go ahead and put it wherever you want. yes, there was a lot of unload and show queer. However, I'm pretty sure a good chunk of us in our group had a loaded gun somewhere else on us. And like I parked my truck right behind the stage, set the med bag on it because they don't plan for any medical emergencies at matches, and and I set a rifle leaning against the tailgate as well, so that there was a big gun there. Well, it was a little big gun, but you get the idea. But yeah, we had a decent time, and then we went, came back and rebarreled a gun, and then went over and hung out at Susquehanna Valley Firearms, local gun shop. Coolest dudes around. They donated a 9mm Q suppressor last year for the muster, and they're donating a suppressor this year for the muster. I don't know what one, so they may have told me, but they're still giving away a can. Then after that, we went over to the new dark range and had a night vision workshop with half a dozen of us, and also a good time. So yeah, I didn't get a lot of pictures from it because we didn't have an extra PVS 14 to hook up to that camera that you're watching me through. So didn't really someone had to remove one in order to put it in front of a phone and get a couple of photos. We did that once. Local canine cop stopped by and we got some pictures of him. So we had some cool guy photos for back at the precinct or whatever they call it. But that was a pretty cool weekend. And then speaking of the USPS gay match, though, there was a I'll show you here with my airsoft gun, because YouTube doesn't like real guns. So used the new Firstwave holsters Pantac holster. So this is what it looks like. It's over on the website. Like the picture on it is of this literal one. Got a speed lock thumb brake, and there's like a QLS on the back. This little grid on the front for mounting stuff. I usually have a fixed blade up there. I took it off for the photos for the website. They are available on the website. Some have been ordered already. So we have some speed locks on the way. You can get it. I'll show you here with this CERT pistol, completely inert. You can get it without the speed lock. It still can mount one later. It just doesn't have it on it. If you just want a normal retention holster for like drop legged or whatever. It's got the Safariland bolt pattern on the back. You can get it with the QLS fork or just leave the Safariland bolt pattern. Soon, very soon, I'll show you here, we have my HRT arc belt, but it's got a True North modular holster adapter on it. And then the fork, it clicks into place to do whatever, or you can swap it for the other one, depending whatever. And we're going to sell it as a whole kit too. Just got all hooked up with my buddies at True North so that we can offer those as a whole package for like the drop leg with the QLS. We'll also do a blade tech mount if you don't want a QLS from Safariland. But 'tis on the website. You can get those. We also added the Shield Maiden, which is an off-body holster for either Velcro or tie-off attachment. Plus the shade holsters that you can buy at gun shops. And as soon as I get some pictures around, we'll also offer up the Butch, which is a trigger guard holster. Speaking of the Shield Maiden, there she is in the chat. So those are the things on the Firstwave website. I believe you can see it at the bottom of, like right below my face, like right here is the URL. And that's also over in the chat. So go hit up the web page if you like. And that's the big news there. I think that's everything on the list. We have a workshop coming up later this month, the 22nd maybe. That's a cover clinic, which is all about using cover. This is a live fire cover clinic, and using some rifles and how to utilize rifles around different types of cover. That's the plan. And then July, we have Montana on the list, and trying to remember what else is going on in July. The beginning, I think it's just the Montana thing, and then the next thing after that's way at the end of July, when Andrew and Jay are up here teaching patrolling the homestead. So that's pretty awesome. And right after that, we launch into what I'm calling Muster Week, which is all kinds of training and then the muster. So that's the upcoming stuff. What else we got going on? Breaking some ground on a new location here in Pennsylvania to build some holsters. Have a couple of people. I'll be a lot of hands-on on that too, I guess, and some other folks, so that since we're not currently making holsters in San Diego, because our homeboy in San Diego is currently in Pearl Harbor and was not trying to ship a bunch of holster making equipment from San Diego to Hawaii, and he will be there for some time. So it's a good thing that they got some folks here in Bloomsburg to pick up the slack. What else going on? Trying to locate some property for a private-ish non-ballistic shoot house. Still doing that. Guess that's all that. Oh, some of you may have followed today's internet drama. The drama. It wasn't that dramatic, but over on the Instagrams, where we're not currently broadcasting live because it wouldn't work. Like, I had the stream key put in on Restream and everything over on Instagram. And when I click go live on Restream, the next thing you have to do is go back to the Instagram window and click go live, and the button wasn't clickable. And then nothing on the screen was clickable. And when I hit refresh, everything went away, and I had to get a new stream key. So I just said, fuck, I'm not putting it on Instagram. However, over on Instagram, there were some comments made on the post I made yesterday about this rifle right back here. And I took the original comment from Kentuckiana Gunworks as a hey, let me just cut in here and pimp my shit in the middle of your pimping your shit. So I tried to find out who that was. I did reply about why I did not use his sling. Well, the things I didn't like about the features I didn't like on his sling, I didn't really know that they made slings until today, because I thought that they did gun lube, which they do that too, apparently. But I did find the owner, the actual person behind the company, and I reached out to him. We chatted, and there was no ill intent on his part. And we talked a little bit about how shitty the gun industry is and how the internet portion of the gun industry is terrible. And at the end of it, next sling I get for one of the blasters around the librarium here, I'm going to pick up one of the Kentuckiana Gunworks slings and give that a shot. So look forward to seeing some of that. Stephen, hello. Zach, hello. Zach, hopefully Florida was awesome and not too hot this time of year. But so for those of you in the alumni group that were like, we're going to burn Kentuckiana Gunworks to the ground, I was trying to find out who it was. Found him, and all cool. Seems like a fine dude. So we're going to buy one of his slings, and we'll compare it to the Goobers. And what else I got around here? I have one or two UW Gear slings, a truck sling from Combat Art Training, which is currently on my Iron Pig Armament rifle, the one that you guys can use. We did not loan it out at the night vision class, nor did we lend that one out because neither one are set up with a laser aiming module. Bunch of blue force gear slings here. Obviously, used to be a big proponent of them, and they're still a fine sling. Just that design has evolved, and they haven't like caught up on the material side of it. That's for like the Vickers sling. I have I think I saw 2 regular 2-point here slings here from them, and what else we got down there? I have an old sling from a company called Odin Works. I believe the tag said Odin Works. It looks like it was sewn together. You know how like when you're teaching a kindergartner how to sew construction paper together with yarn? It looked, the stitching on the Odin Works sling looked like that. So it's the reason you all have never seen anything around about it. I just threw it in a pile somewhere. It is red, my favorite color. I know, but it's like 1-inch red webbing, so I held onto it in case I ever needed like a project where I wanted like a handle on a med kit or something sewed on. I would have some red webbing to get my local Stitch bitches to sew it on for me, because I'm not buying a bunch of red webbing. So yeah, I think that's it. Maybe we'll do a little post or comparing all the slings. I'd say a video, but man, I got like 4 videos filmed that need edited sitting on my desktop downstairs, and I'm just not interested. Mike Fiore, hello, sir. I was talking about you earlier. Combat art training shotgun cards are too legit to quit. I like it. I do like Andrew's shotgun cards. They're my second favorite shotgun cards. Behind the Lunar Concept ones, because there's Tegris. Gosh, I love me some Tegris. I've been cutting some Tegris. Lots of Tegris the last couple of days. Don't know if you guys know this or not, but there is Tegris in the Trempendix Omega holster. So if you've ordered one of those, you'll need some Tegris parts, and I've been cutting it. Also cut some Tegris out for a pal of mine for a different project. I'm literally cutting the Tegris, giving him the parts. Steven has some Odin Works punches that are great, like center punches or drift punches, or I don't think it's the same Odin Works as this. And it might not even be Odin Works. I really should have brought it up so I could look at it. I did take a picture. If you look somewhere on my social media, there is a picture of some red webbing with some horrific stitching, and it's from that sling. Sling was given to me by my old boss and was like, hey, check this out. And not okay. So yeah, let's see. The sling drama is over. So point is, so far the best sling I have seen is the Goobers, because it has the quick adjust, just like the Blue Force gear. But instead of like a proprietary plastic injection molded piece, they actually use off-the-shelf hardware, and just they run the webbing not the way, was it ITW Nexus or whoever makes that stuff, not how they intended the webbing to run, and it makes a quick release just like the Blue Force gear. But the webbing is thin and super supple, for lack of a better term. So it slides real easy when you want to adjust it. And actually the piece of hardware where the sling would rotate through when you're adjusting it is metal it's steel instead of plastic. So it's super friction free. Really like that. But now since the webbing's thin, they put a padded section on it. So it really compares to like the Blue Force gear padded section. And digging that, because the padded section's covered in a material called tweave, which is super soft against the neck when you wear a t-shirt, not a collared shirt. And I'm a big fan of wearing t-shirts unless it's chilly and I put a hoodie over the t-shirt, et cetera, et cetera. And it is 16 inches of padding, where the Blue Force gear is like 9 feet of padding. And the padded part isn't adjustable. So the bigger the padded part, the less adjustment you have from open to close. So shorter is better. I would actually prefer it be like 14 inches because I only really need it padded like at the neck shoulder area. But there are dudes a lot bigger than me, like, you know, in girth, and maybe 16 is the right number. For me, it's probably a little shorter. But what I had it modified, I had a friendly stitch bitch do some mods for me on that pull tab. It's 2 pieces, and they come up and then they're like folded over the top and sewed together, and then they put a heavy row of stitching down the middle, so it's a flat tab. But since it's 1 row of stitching, you can stick a knife in there and cut it real easy, and now it becomes a loop for people that want a loop instead of a tab. But because the material's so supple, it's kind of a floppy tab. So I had a box stitch put on it, and that made it a little more rigid, and it stays a little more firm. It's like taking a Cialis or something. So I like that. This is the first time I tried that. On all my other Goober slings are going to get that when I get the opportunity to get them sewed up. But the thing that I do to all my Goober slings is I have a piece of, it's probably like 3/4 inch webbing sewed down the length of the padded portion, which would be like right there on that sling back there. And like it's a strip, and it's sewed like every 1.5 inches, like molly spacing. Not that you would molly anything to it, but it allows me to tie off a sling duber wherever I want for sling stowage. That sling doesn't have a duber on it, or I bring it over here and show you, because I've been cutting Tegris for other projects, and I gotta cut some to make some dubers. Oh, Steven's got the punches are roll pin punches specifically for ARs. Man, maybe that's where I heard the term Odin Works, and it isn't Odin Works that makes the sling. Fuck. Now I gotta go downstairs and look. I'm not even sure where the fuck I put that sling. I'll dig it up. Steven, if I found a way to put Tegris in the sling, I would have, but I haven't found a spot I wanted it. I didn't really want like that handle to be super rigid, just a little more firm than it was. However, I do have an idea for a helmet ballast pouch for like batteries. For me, it'd be putting a Nod Pod back there that's going to use 1 wrap and Tegris. It'll be pretty cool. It won't involve a whole lot of sewing. So we will be doing some Tegris stuff. What else we got going on? Oh, big announcement. Not really. You can now get a Tremis Dynamics phone case for iPhones. All you weird people in the Apple cult can now get a case for your telephone. It looks kind of like this one. This one's clear with just a black logo on it for my not very yellow Samsung S24 Plus. The iPhone case it's a bump case. It's like I don't know if it's a bump case, like a bump helmet. It's a tough case. I think it's called a tough case. It's yellow, like matte yellow, like nice canary yellow with the same logo on it for your iPhone. Steven said, did you see Armored Republic is selling nods and ballistic helmets? I've never heard of Armored Republic. So it's certainly news to me because I don't know who we're talking about. Kind of sounds like it should be in the mall beside Hollister. Banana Republic? Is that what's in there? No, that's in Washington, D.C. Shit, well, whatever. I know I'm full of jokes today. Steven says he can't believe I gave into the iPhones. Well, I do recall possibly having told someone that I would make one. It is like $5 more than a Samsung case because I can. Figure if people are willing to spend extra money just because something says Apple on it, even if it isn't any better, aka it's probably worse. I might as well charge them extra for the Apple phone case because it says Apple in the description. You know, and if you're in a cult, you're willing to pay $5 extra anyway. Like you'll drink the Kool-Aid. Of course you'll pay $5. So they are AR500 Armor is now called Armored Republic. I think you might have told me that in class a couple weeks ago. Didn't realize they had changed their name. I have a plate carrier here from AR500.com. Their micro plate carrier, I believe it was called. It's for 8x10 plates. They sold it with their 8x10 steel plates, but I didn't. I put polyethylene plates in them. It actually was the basis for the new plate carrier from Combat Art Training, the Primaris plate carrier, which I have a tracking number for. So maybe next week on the live shot, I'll be wearing the multicam prototype. Maybe not. Maybe not. But I mean, it'll be here, but maybe I won't be wearing it. But we have just a smidgen of AR2 material to make that out of. So Andrew is prototyping it out of some multicam and coyote type stuff so that if it's not right or we need to make adjustments, it's not using up our AR2 material, which you can buy. It's like $300, $370 or something like that per yard. So like 60-inch wide by 36 inches long, $400. And we chatted about it. We were doing like a Zoom meeting or Instagram video chat, Google FaceTime, whatever the fuck it's called. Google Face, G-Face. That sounds like it'd be a rapper name, G-Face. Anyhow, and like showing it and pointing at things and talking about it. And maybe a limited run of 8x10 and 10x12. Maybe it's happening. It's weird. So I have the little chat that shows up beside my Restream window. And then there's the chat that's in the Restream window. And one shows the newest comments on the bottom and the other one shows the newest comments on the top. So it's very confusing. They're literally touching each other like in my screen, in my little screen right here. I have a big chat window over on the other screen, and that shows the newest on the bottom as well. So it's all kinds of fucking confusing. Yeah. So what were you? iPhones, good workshop, good pistol match. Firstwave holsters is up and running. We showed you the pan tack. I don't have a Shield Maiden here to show you, or a Butch. I need them to send me some photos so I can put it on the website of a Butch. And you guys can finally order shade holsters. I don't have any of those here, so I can't show them to you like right here up front. But I do got a couple pan tacks. There's all of our updates. And iPhone cases. Don't forget the iPhone cases. So bust out some questions if you want to get them taken care of before this whole thing crashes and burns at the end. Note to self, if you don't make an event page like earlier in the day or a couple days before, fewer people show up in the live stream. Who knew? So I'll give you a second to drum something up. I can't really go check over on the Facebook page because there's no event for someone to have posted it. I guess maybe somebody could have posted it as a message, but we don't really do that. I did have a couple different people ask if we were doing any classes this weekend, and we are not. Spending some quality time with the family this weekend. Been painting the porch a little bit. I'm not a porch painter. However, let me tell you this awesome idea that my wife had and I implemented. So we put a new porch on the house summer before last. And we went from white, like banister and poles and all that. We're painting them black and changing the shade of gray for the floor from what it used to be. So we're doing all that, and we have been spraying the bottom of the handrails with some sort of anti-carpenter bee foam spray stuff, because the carpenter bees would, fly under there and burrow their way up in, and we'd see little piles of sawdust. So we'd spray the foam stuff around, and we'd fill the hole full of steel wool. So we painted that like underneath the handrail. There's like a top handrail, bottom handrail, spindles in between. Under the bottom one, like 3 or 4 inches off the porch, with a whole bunch of layers of paint. And my wife says, "Hey, why don't you put Kydex under there?" I'm like, "That's retarded. How much Kydex we would have to buy?" However, in the course of Firstwave holstery, the taco style holsters, like the Tremis Signature, I have some back there. It's like a 6-inch by 9-inch piece of Kydex to make one of those. And the Kydex comes in like 1-foot increments. So when you cut like a 6-inch strip off and then you cut it down to 9 inches, it leaves this little 3-inch by 6-inch piece. So since the company had a giant pile of those from all the Tremis holsters just sitting, waiting for like future little zipper pull projects, I got them and I drilled holes in them, countersunk them, and I used my impact driver, and I bought one of them little dubers that turns it to 90 degrees, and I screwed Kydex fucking armor underneath the bottom portion of my handrail so that the carpenter bees can't drill into them. I'm the first dude with the Firstwave porch. Like, how cool is that? Anybody else got a Firstwave porch? I didn't think so. Oh, Mike says he has fielded several requests to hold the scofflaw seminar. I too have fielded some requests for that. Man, oh man, there's just not a good time to do it. Our location that we use for in Danville is only available on Sundays and Mondays. And man, there's a lot of Sundays that are busy. Man, we're out into August before there's a free Sunday. However, if we get our own shoot house, we'll have more free days because that'll be open whenever we want it. Just saying, that's looking better. The Bulletin Studios can host. That means we might be able to do a Saturday or a Sunday. What's the calendar look like on Saturdays? Still into August. Like the 11th is my first free, 10th and 11th, first free Saturday, Sunday. It's a ways out. Jason Hedrick, hello, sir. Ooh, on a weeknight, that's like a 4-hour each way trip for the people that have been asking me about it. They're coming from the western side of the state. Or at least 2.5 or so. TJ, hello, sir. We were talking about you earlier as well. So when you come back and listen to this while you're busy slaving away, working the wood, you wizard, you'll hear your name in the beginning. Almost out of fluids. Some sort of hydration powder mix thing that Jen bought. I think it's passion fruit, maybe? Maybe passion fruit? I don't know, something free. Let's see what else we got going on that I forgot to mention. I think that's about it. I got 8:42. Bust out the questions or I'm going to bust out the exit sign. I know, I'll give you a few seconds. We did offer on all of the non-Tremis signature holsters. I have a sample thing right here. If I can reach it. Colors. You can now add colors. So on the inside the waistband, if you go with soft loops, you can get colors of soft loops. I don't even know what all these colors are called, so don't ask me. I got this for taking some pictures. And colored eyelets and finishing washers. There's some colored screws here as well. I don't even think we're offering those, but they have like red, orange, brown, gray, and black. I think the screws are just coming in black. But that's the other thing. Like you can get colors now for like $1. I think it's $1. I think it's $1 extra for colors. I don't know. I built the website. Not all the information was come from this head. There are other heads involved. But you can go over to the website, which you can find right here, and look for yourself. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that possibly go over here to specialty products and look under Tremis Signature Series. Yes, I thought this was the case as the guy that built the website. The reviews from the holsters work on Firstwave, as well as if you had bought the Tremis Signature Series from the Tremis website. So if you guys want to leave reviews for any of the Shade series, that's the normal standard holster designs that you can get in like gun shops and stuff. I'll answer that question here in a moment. So yeah, you can get the standard holsters. There's an appendix inside the waistband with the DCC clip or soft loops. And outside the waistband holster, which is similar to the instructor holster, but for like EDC size belts, 1.5 belts, instructors for 1 3/4, in case you have a rigger's belt. And then we got the agency series, which has the Pantac, which I've showed you earlier, the drop leg style Safariland 3-bolt pattern, and the meat curtain, which is it's got Tegra soft loops as well, but it's a smaller footprint. Instead of being out at the ends, they're behind the holster, so it gives you a little standoff. No angle, just standoff, no drop, and outside the waistband. Those are in the agency series. So if you buy any of those, reviews are welcome, because you know how Google likes to weigh reviews as higher than visits and clicks. All right, so back on the chat. John is here, Alpha Charlie Concepts. Jason Hedrick says, so what would it take to get the webbing added to the Goober's sling in regular production? Well, it would take somebody to know someone at Goobers. I know nobody at Goobers. And convince them it was a worthwhile idea so they can get the company that sews for them to add it. I would guess, if you just asked me to guess, that London Bridge is who sews that for them. But it might be somebody else. But regardless, I have no idea how to get that into production. If there were ever a Tremis signature sling, it would basically be that sling with the padding section like 2 inches shorter, and the 2 modifications I just had done to that, the webbing and the box stitch on the handle, would be part of that. But like then it's a little too close to make a new sling, and it's like real close to theirs, and I really don't have someone to make me the sling. I know a few people who sew stuff for a living, and they are not capable of sliding in a batches of new custom style slings into their system. Like they're just too busy, which is a good problem to have. Now, what I can do, I could probably, and I would, Bryant, hello, sir. Long time no talk. We should do that more. You should hit all the fish classes up in Scranton, since it's so close to your home. And we're not going to be back up there until like the fall, but you should come to every one of them. Shoot me a message and say, I'll be there at 10 on that Saturday, and bring a rifle. But the person that modified those for me also is not going to do, I'm 99% sure is not open to accepting orders of people mailing in Goober slings to modify. But if they're willing to do it on a small basis, in fact, so Ammo Supply Warehouse is a dealer for Goober slings, so they have a stockpile of some Goober slings in the warehouse for resale purposes. Possibly I can talk to Becker about maybe getting some of these shipped to a the someone who might be willing to do a small batch for a donation. Send those to him, and then I could send the donation, or however we want to do that, and actually get some slings for Becker to sell with the Tremis mod, or whatever he wants to call it. I don't give a fuck what he calls it. Certainly it's not have my name on it. I ain't making the fucking sling or even modifying it. But it's a possibility that could happen. I'd be down for that. We got to talk to Becker and my Stitch bitch, who both of them might be listening to on this chat, either live or later, like when they dig it up and listen to it while they're driving to work. Yes, Bryant says he should. All right, it's on the calendar. October. The first fish class is, let's say it's in October 5th, and we're doing it one Saturday a month in Scranton every month through March. So you should come to those. You can even bring the boy. He's old enough. I'll even loan him a rifle. TJ said he likes the sling. RJ's here. We can all rest easy. Quick, everyone run. Hide. Don't hide in the water. He's Aquaman. And he may have married the Queen of Dragons, or whatever she called herself. Khaleesi. Would that make him Cow? The cow? Steven said they're so good he's going to try to take them all again. I think You can't swim? All right, we're going to fix that. We're definitely going to fix it. I taught Calvin to swim from a hotel room. I didn't even go to the pool. So Steven says he wants to take them all again. I think we're going to try to institute a half price policy on the fish classes for returning students. But don't hold me to that because we are kind of limited on space. But I'd like to see people continue to get the reps, and I try to be as helpful as I can. If we end up with our own private shoot house facility, I certainly can do it because it means it's easier to schedule extra classes. So, but yes, Steven should take them. Bryant should take them. I actually like the fish classes. Like if I could only teach one live fire class and that was the master class, and then just teach fish style classes and workshops the rest of the time, I'd be fine with that. Like that's all I would do. But I know you all want to make the loud noises with the blasty blasters, so we'll do those two. When is the signature sling coming? But you guys, now we're on a signature sling. I think we've already addressed. I don't have someone with the capability to produce them. The production capability, capacity. That's the word, capacity. But maybe some modified goober slings. With the Tremdyne mod, the Trem mod, the Dyne mod, the Pirate mod. Ooh, the Pirate mod. Duber mod, because it's for a Duber. Damn it. We're going to have to come up with something. And we got to get Becker on board to supply the base slings to us. Oh, Raj, hello, sir. Any more non-gun classes coming up besides the navigation day 3? Loves the survival type skills, learn GPS maps, compasses, etc. I believe we're going to do a concealed carry for scofflaws, but probably not until August because it's the first free weekend we have, which is, all about taking guns in places where you're not supposed to take them. And what I think Mike wants to do another GPS workshop. We need to get a couple radio classes in. The regular one-day radio class, and then the 2-day version or day 2 version. We should do them back to back. Mike is somewhere floating around the chat here. We need to poke him to get onto that. I am the AI for that class, and he is the lead. So those are coming. I don't think we're doing any more bug the fuck outs, but we may do a bug out workshop in the fall. I think that's what we got for non-gun stuff coming up, because the force on force is gun stuff, even if it isn't live fire. RJ's got 3 or 4 slings to modify. Well, if my Stitch bitch were watching, and I'm not saying that he or she is, but if my Stitch bitch were watching, the Goobers mod program could be a thing if you're interested in listening. You don't even have to run it. I can run it. Like if somebody, like from me to you, either supply from Becker or used ones from people that have already bought them and would like them modified. Just hash out those details, not during a chat. I mean, if you're listening and watching. Because of the 2 or 3 or 5 people I know that have sewed Cordura stuff, I think all of them I have seen pop into the chat here. Maybe not this evening, but in general. All right. So that's the on the agenda is the Goobers, the Goober Doober mod. Oh, the Goober Doober mod. Yep. That's a thing. Regardless. That I have to work on. We'll figure out how to make all that happen. So with that, I got 8:56. I am completely out of my beverage. Now I'm out. Oh, John says Firstwave holsters rock. That's on the record. Like the Pantac, or even the Pantac with the active retention. It comes both ways. There's a dirty joke in there somewhere. Speaking of which, I have a dirty joke for you. It's not that dirty. So before we punch out of here for the evening, we'll give you the dirty joke. So sex is it's a lot like going to the hardware store. First you find a screw, then you nut and bolt. Take it easy. See you next Wednesday.